Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Public Board of Education meeting. We called our meeting to order earlier in our closed executive session, so we appreciate seeing you come out tonight. And it being the last few days of summer vacation, I'm sure there's a wide range of emotions and anticipation of the school year starting, especially for, I know, some families in district who also have kids who are going away to college. So it's exciting, at least for me. Dr. Adderhold, do you have any comments to share at the beginning?
Good evening, everyone. We're very much looking forward to welcoming our students and staff back for the 25-26 school year. This week we have our new teacher orientation, and we're pleased to welcome so many of our new WWP staff members for a 4-day orientation led by our administrative team. Just wanted to quickly note that for parents and guardians, the Genesis forms, the litany of Genesis forms have been provided and are available out there. You need to make sure you're doing all your online forms and online signatures in order to gain access to student schedules. So please make sure that you're logging in as schedules are going live, just in live time, actually, for at least for high school and middle school. With respect to the fall 2025 newsletter, that went out on Monday. It's a very lengthy document, but there's hyperlinks, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in to learn about the opening of school and all the back-to-school nights and updates regarding everything from food services to athletics to school supplies and community education. The one thing I do want to just note, and I mentioned this at our last meeting, is the reminder regarding Millstone Road closures between Cranberry Road and Maple Ave. We anticipate that being a 6-month road closure, and we highly encourage families and students to take the buses if they're going to be going over, well, in general, but if they're going to be going over to the high school north community Millstone side of the district. Again, that closure between Cranberry Road and Maple Ave is going to be crippling for this community. We are awaiting word. Did it go through? We're still awaiting word about a temporary light. There was a meeting today, and we have not heard the final decision about the implementation of that light over by Cranberry Road. And that's so that really people can turn left as they're leaving north in Millstone and community as the only exit point. There's real concern about what the traffic pattern is going to look like, anyone going towards 130 or East Windsor. Or other parts of West Windsor, I should say, as well, with respect to traffic and transportation. So really, this particular project's upwards of 6 months. So definitely through the rest of this academic or calendar year. We also have sports underway. Our fall sports season kicked off, and we've welcomed so many of our student athletes back and our coaches back to campus. So, we're very excited to welcome our students next Thursday. We are just very mindful that, a lot of families like to drive the first couple days and drop their students off. Again, there's going to be a real bottleneck in our community as the bridge project is taking place. And again, we just highly recommend everyone using the transportation that's provided to nearly everyone in the community. So with that, I'll wish everyone a wonderful, enjoyable remainder of the summer and the days that you have. And we look forward to welcoming our students next Thursday and our staff next Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you for those reminders, Dr. Adderhold. And now it's my pleasure to ask Dr. Barbara Gould, our Chief Academic Officer, for our presentation on the 2025-2026 curriculum review.
Great. Hold on. Sorry. Let me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Barbara Gould, and I'm the Chief Academic Officer of West Windsor-Plainsboro School District. I'm excited tonight to highlight our Curriculum and Instruction Department and the incredible work that the team has done throughout this year and over the summer to prepare for the school year. This is our annual report, and as you can see, and you will see, it will reflect all of the dedication, creativity, and collaboration of many of our educators. Here's the roadmap for tonight. We'll first take a look at curricular writing process, followed by taking a look at what are the components that are relevant for all of our curricula documents, as well as looking at the highlights for our new curricula, and also highlighting some of our revised curricula. This will give you a window into both the big picture and some of the details. This summer alone, 247 curricular documents were written or revised, which is a tremendous amount of work for our team. Of those, 27 were brand new courses and 220 were revisions. The 27 new are a combination of some of our new middle school elective courses, as well as some brand new courses that we have available to our high school students. This is not only meeting state requirements, but also full revisions for our curricula, which undergoes a process every 3 years. So with our curricular writing process, it's very thoughtful and deliberate. Teachers are trained by our understanding by design framework, which helps us really keep our student outcomes at the center of the work. Every curricula is reviewed through an equity lens to ensure that all students are seen and reflected in our curricula, as well as our curricula are revised, as I mentioned, in a 3-year process. This also makes sure that we are making our curricula aligned to state standards and requirements, as well as ensuring that our curricula is both high quality and looks forward into the future. All of our curricular documents contain all of the components that you see here. They have, a summary, rationale, there are pacing guides. All of them are aligned to the student learning standards, which are required. There are objectives, assessments, and student understandings. The other additional thing that we have taken on as a team is that any new curricula that's written by our teams also includes an equity statement, as well as a storyboard. And the storyboard is a visual that represents how the curriculum goes for our students and also for our families, and it really gives a window into how the narrative or the story of the curricula and all of the learning objectives throughout the year. The other important thing to note is that all documents are board approved and they're posted to the district website, and they're available for families and students to access at any time. We're very excited to share all of our new courses. This year we expanded and reimagined many of our middle school elective courses, some of which have been courses and now will be. You can see them listed here for you to take a look at, and I will highlight just a few of those. These additions really reflect our commitment to the whole child, as you can see, from creativity to critical thinking. And I'd like to take a moment just to highlight a few of the courses. One of the new courses that we had and we enacted over the summer was our new summer course, which was an Asian American course. This year we held our first session over the summer for this course, and I really wanted to share with you some of the student testimonials, and I won't read all of them for you, but they're up here for you to take a look. I will highlight the first one though, just because the image that is on the right that you can see was actually designed by the student that shared this testimonial. So Devi Dasapati, a grade 9 student at High School North, created this image on the right, and it shows the Eastern Imperial Eagle of multiple Asian countries moving between cultures, weighed down by chains related to power and labor. The allusions to various Asian cultures in the bottom of the image relate to the course themes of diversity and solidarity. So it was, and this was the representation that the student created of the impact of the course. And so just taking a look at both this personal account and thinking about, this course really had a high impact on the students that took it, and they got a lot out of it. And our courses are designed in this way to really represent our students and the needs of our community. Another course that I'd like to spotlight is one of our middle school elective courses, Think Like a Researcher, Inquiry and Action. In this course, students will have the opportunity to move beyond Google searches and dig into databases, digital tools, and even explore some AI resources, really learning the practical pieces of evaluating bias, thinking about credibility of resources, and communicating their ideas in real-world formats. And our hope for this course is really to expand their critical thinking and to be able to apply the research skills that they learn in other applications as well. Alongside our new courses, we've also updated 220 of our courses. The revisions go beyond just standards alignment, the ones that are listed up here especially. It ensures that our scope and sequences have been updated. There's a reflection of input from both educators and also students. We often gather student feedback at the end of courses, and we utilize all of that information to revise our curricula so that it's responsive and reflective of our students' needs, and it maintains the rigorous educational opportunities that we hope for our students. As you can see, there's been a tremendous amount of work done this summer, especially from our teams, and so we're grateful for that. It would be possible without the educators, supervisors, and administrators that took part in that process, as well as the Board of Education. Thank you for your support in our community. And our hope is that together we're making it possible to really provide our students with all of these different opportunities to have the best education that they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gould. Does anyone on the board have any questions for Dr. Gould before she steps off the podium? Oh, it's silent today. All right, thank you for that. That means we can move on to our first opportunity for public comments. The board invites thoughts and reactions on agenda items and items of concern from members of our community who are present. Each participant is asked to give his or her name and address prior to making a statement, which will be limited to 3 minutes in accordance with Board Policy 0167. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. This public comment period shall be limited to 60 minutes. Do we have any public comments?
Ann Clifton, 18 Galston Drive, West Windsor, from the board of the West Windsor Bicycle and Pedestrian Alliance, an all-volunteer local nonprofit that works to make walking and bicycling better for everyone in our community. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Alliance congratulates the school district as well as Maurice Hawk, Dutch Neck, and Village Schools for achieving different safe routes to school designations from New Jersey. We hope more schools will follow, including those in Plainsboro, and that the school board and the administration will encourage all schools to participate with the goal of achieving gold status. And we at the Bicycle and Pedestrian Alliance are here to help. Some of you may be familiar with our bike safety wheel that we've brought to many school events, from Town Center's End of the Year Carnival to North Day at the high school. Kids, and even adults, spin the wheel, and we ask them an age-appropriate safety question related to biking, walking, or interacting with cyclists and walkers while driving. And we're always surprised by the number of middle school and high school students who don't know what side of the road to bike on. The right side, just like drivers, because cyclists must follow the same rules as drivers. So to us, it's a sign that kids need more bike education over several grade levels with age-appropriate content, because we all don't retain everything we hear the first time. And just as the West Windsor Bicycle and Pedestrian Alliance is a resource to help, so is the Greater Mercer Transportation Management Association. Some of you may be aware that they gave safety presentations to 185 Dutch Neck second graders last year. They have free biking and walking safety presentations for all grade levels, and we hope they'll be invited to more West Windsor-Plainsboro schools and grades. Secondly, Dr. Adderhold just mentioned about the bridge replacement happening now between West Windsor and Plainsboro. Yes, it's going to cause traffic headaches, but the good news is that there will be sidewalks on both sides, which potentially allows for more students to walk or bike to school. We hope that you'll join us to advocate for sidewalks along Millstone Road in West Windsor and then into Plainsboro along Grover's Mill Road. We know that many residents there want a sidewalk. Another benefit to the district is that this could reduce the number of students entitled to bus transportation, and you know better than we do about the recent soaring increases in the district's transportation budget. Again, congratulations on the Safe Routes to School designations. We hope this is the first of many more steps to make our school district more walkable and bikeable. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for a public comment at this time? Seeing none, I'll close this public comment period, and we'll move on to committee reports. So I'll ask Dana to give us a report on administration and facilities.
Okay. Good evening. The A&F committee met on Tuesday, August 19th. The committee reviewed several policies and regulations which are recommended for a first reading at tonight's board meeting. The changes to these policies and regulations require minor revisions or require districts to provide more documentation and details in order to follow New Jersey State Code. These policies and regulations are as follows. P0174, which is legal services, P0177, professional services, policy and regulation 1570, which is internal controls, policy 1620, administrative employment contracts, policy 2422, statutory curricular requirements, and policy and regulation 6111, which is special education Medicaid initiative or SEMI program, and policy 6220, budget preparation. Additionally, the committee reviewed the newly mandated suntan policy and recommends a second reading and approval at tonight's board meeting. This grants students the ability to use sunscreen and sun protective equipment without requiring documentation from a physician or other licensed healthcare professional. The policy also allows district administrators to create restrictions on specific types of sunscreens that may be deemed harmful to students with asthma or other respiratory ailments or cause a nuisance to students or staff. And that is policy 5339.01, student sun protection. The committee also reviewed a policy that is recommended for abolishment. It is a policy from the COVID-19 period, which is policy 1648.15, record keeping for healthcare setting in school buildings, COVID-19. Next, the committee reviewed the fall sports registration enrollment numbers. Fall athletics have started with tryouts taking place this past week for most teams. The committee discussed the application to the NJSIAA and recommends approval for the renewal submission of the Cooperative Sports Agreement, CSP, between High School South and High School North for softball for the 2026, 2027, and 2028 seasons. And finally, the committee reviewed a description for Supervisor of Instructional Technology and recommends the revised job descriptions for approval at tonight's meeting. The next meeting of the A&F committee will be on Wednesday, September 10th.
Thanks, Dana. Any questions for administration and facilities? Nope. All right, next I'd like to invite Lloyd to give us a report on curriculum.
Thank you, Graylin. The curriculum committee met on August 12th. We started with Dr. Gould, who reviewed the spring 2025 NJ-GPA results. A full report will be shared with the committee. The full board will be shared with the full board during the testing presentation in October. Next on the agenda for voting tonight are a couple of items. First, the curriculum committee recommends approval of all the new and revised curriculum that Dr. Gould spoke about earlier in her presentation. The committee also recommends the acceptance of the title and entitlement grants for the Elementary and Secondary Education Act from the state of New Jersey for the fiscal year 2026, which are the entitlement grants are listed on tonight's agenda. Next, the curriculum committee recommends approval of the listing of the community education fall 2025 adult, youth, and after-school enrichment programs, which is also listed on tonight's agenda. Last but not least, the committee recommends approval of the following overnight field trips. First, high school South students, for music students to be able to go to Nashville, Tennessee from March 25th through March 30th of 2026. The cost of the trip is approximately $1,600 per student. And the other field trip for outdoor ed or outdoor education to Camp Canadensis in Pennsylvania from June 8th through June 12th, 2026, and the cost of the trip is approximately $250 per student for both middle schools. Our curriculum committee will next meet on Tuesday, September 9th.
Oh, okay. So, all right, sounds good. All right, any questions first, though, for curriculum? Go ahead, Liz.
Just a quick question on the ESA grants. Is that like a recurring grant, or was it just for one time only? The ones that are listed here, title.
Yeah, it's theoretically a recurring grant as long as the federal government, it's a recurring grant as long as the federal government funds it. So it's the Every Student Succeeds Act, right? So formerly NCLB. So these are your title grants, Title 1, 2, 3, 4A, and then in addition you get IDEA, and then you can get other grants like Perkins and things like that.
So we're set for this.
Yeah.
But we don't know about the future.
We do not know about the future, and the grants were released late. They were finally funded in early August, and they were not funded at the same proportion as last year.
All right, thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Ajanta for discussion notes for finance.
All right, thank you. The Finance Committee did not meet this month. However, an update was provided by administration. Administration confirmed that there are no major accounts overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to complete the year. There are several items on the agenda this evening, including the acceptance of a donation in lieu of taxes from the Princeton Theological Seminary and addendum to increase the amount of the Pritchard Industries contract by $5,000 for recent salary negotiations. Purchases exceeding the bid limit for concrete work at Maurice Hawk and Grover Middle Schools, disposal of obsolete equipment, and the award of additional transportation routes, and the approval of travel for the board members and central office administration to attend the New Jersey School Boards Association Workshop 2025 in the fall. Administration reported that the accounting system was closed out for the 24-25 fiscal year and was transitioned to the 25-26 fiscal year. The audit of the 24-25 year is in process. Lou Brotman, prior staff accountant, has been assisting with this end-of-year closeout and rollover process. Staff provided an update on the energy savings improvement projects. At Maurice Hawk, the installation of built-in unit ventilators is almost complete, and the rooftop units have been set in place and are in process of being connected. There was a delay in the delivery of the breaker panel for the electric service units, but the startup is still expected before school starts. Some carpentry work will continue a few weeks into school, but will be done after hours. At Grover Middle School, the new rooftop were delayed, but should be on site next week. In the meantime, the current units remain operational. At Village, the new boilers are expected to arrive in the coming weeks and should be in operation when the heating system is turned on in October. Staff provided an update on summer projects around the district. High School North received new flooring in the first floor hallways, and the auditorium received lighting and control upgrades. Grover Middle School received a foyer upgrade, walkway updates, and new flooring in various locations. Millstone River and Town Center have had new walk-in refrigerators installed, and all the schools received fresh paint and new carpet and flooring and in some capacity. Staff reported that the district administration met with the architects and construction management company to review outstanding items that were completed projects over the past several years and discuss the 25-26 project list, which included upgrades to seating and flooring in the high school north auditorium. The food services department is currently looking into updating district vending machines to new smart snack compliant machines that offer organic snacks and beverages. In other business, Schneider Electric is working to secure additional solar grid capacity that has become available in Plainsboro. The Finance Committee will meet again on Tuesday, September 9th.
Perfect. Thanks, Ajanta. And any questions for finance? Okay, then that takes us to the voting portion of our meeting. So for administration, can I get a motion for administration items numbers 1 through 11 plus the purple addendum? Dana and Liz, any questions or comments?
Okay, we'll start with Ms. Krug.
Yes.
Ms. Cheniera.
Yes.
Ms. Maliga.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Shaw.
Yes.
Ms. Shetty.
Yes.
Ms. McEwen.
Yes. Can I get a motion for curriculum and instruction items numbers 1 through 4, Loy and Shweta? Questions or comments?
Okay, we'll start with Ms. Maliga.
Yes.
Ms. Shetty.
Yes.
Ms. Cheniera.
Yes.
Ms. Krug.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Shaw.
Yes.
Ms. McEwen.
Yes. Can I get a motion for finance numbers 1 through 19, plus the blue addendum, Ajanta and Paul? Any questions or comments?
Madam President, just remind the board members for number 19.
Yes, so for number 19A, you would just say, I abstain from number 19A for myself after you vote.
All right, we'll start with Ms. Shaw.
Yes, but I abstain for 19A for myself.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm stuttering again. Mr. O'Brien.
Yes, but abstain from 19A for myself.
Okay. And next we have Ms. Cheniera.
Yes, and I abstain for myself for 19A.
Okay, Ms. Krug.
Yes. Yes, and I abstain from 19A for myself. Thank
Okay,
you.
Ms. Maliga.
Yes, and I abstain for 19A for myself.
Okay, Ms. Shetty.
Yes, but I abstain for 19A for myself.
And finally is Ms. McEwen.
Yes, but I abstain from 19A for myself. And can I get a motion for personnel items numbers 1 through 3, plus the green, pink, and yellow addenda? Liz and Ajanta. Any questions or comments?
Okay, we'll start with Ms. Cheniera.
Yes.
Ms. Shaw.
Yes.
Ms. Krug.
Yes.
Ms. Maliga.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Shetty.
Yes.
Ms. McEwen.
Yes. Can I get a motion to approve Board of Education minutes from our July 29th meeting? Loy and Dana. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And no abstentions. Do we have any board liaison reports? Nope. Any new business? Nope. That takes us to our second opportunity for public comments. The board invites comments from members of our community who are present. Each participant is asked to give his or her name and address prior to making a statement, which will be limited to 3 minutes in accordance with Board Policy 0167. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. This public comment period shall be limited to 15 minutes. Anyone for the second opportunity for public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll close this public comment period. And now I'll ask for a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Paul and Shweta. All those in favor say aye. Aye. There you have it. Thank you, and have a good night.